Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. Today we're going to restore a poison Pinto. Well, let me rephrase that. We're going to do a Restomod on this poison Pinto. Now, I've done one of these before in a video, but this one here, we're going to change it to a spectral paint, and we're going to do a custom wheel swap with some fantastic wheels from Samed Wheels, and we're going to try a different set of decals on the car. So go ahead and grab your favorite adult beverage and stick around, and let's transform this poison Pinto into a custom Spectraflame, really cool wheel poison Pinto and freshen it up. Let's go ahead and move on. I've already drilled out the post. Now there's only one post on this car, and that's in the very front. When you take out the interior, watch out for the grill in the front because it's wrapped around the post. And if you pull on it too hard, it will break. So pull back slightly. Try and push it through with your finger. Pull back slightly, wiggle it out, and then move it over the post. I learned that the last build I did, and it cracked the grill. So be careful when you're doing that. Here's the body. It's in pretty good shape, but we'll have to do some sanding to smooth it out. Smooth out the post there and drill that out. It's got a clip in the back that attaches it to the base. Here's the base. We're going to do a wheel swap on this bad boy, and we'll clean it up. Here's the interior. We're going to redo the engine in chrome, but I want to paint the interior black. I don't really care for the chrome interior. Windshield's in really good shape. All we're going to have to do is polish that up. I don't think we're going to have to dip that in the gauzy. So we're one step ahead already. Let's move on. Here's the body. We're going to go ahead and dip it in the embalming fluid, aka citrus strip. And I did get some more citrus strip from the morgue. So actually embalming fluid. Dip it in, go ahead and let it run off, or use a brush to help brush it off. But get rid of all that excess because, hey, you're going to be able to use it for the next build that you do. Knock off the excess, and then we'll put it on the tray, and we'll let it set for a while. There you go. Let's move on. Here's the body after we got it out of the citrus strip. Now, there's a lot of pits in there, so we're going to have to sand this down. We'll start off with 500, then we'll move to 1,000, then 1,500, etc. if we really want to get that mirror finish. And if you're going to use the Spectraflame paint, you definitely want a good shiny finish. We sanded it down. Now we're going to use the Flitz. Now, Flitz is a great product, folks, and I definitely recommend that you get yourself some Flitz. This tube is just about out. We'll have to open up the new tube here pretty quick. Go ahead and rub it in over all the areas that you want to buff out. And then get that Dremel buzzing. Now, like I've said in the past, just because your Dremel has a high setting doesn't mean you need to use that high setting. You only need to have it maybe about a third or even less to do your buffing here. We've got it buffed out. Now, there's a few deep pits in there, and I don't really want to go too much farther into the metal. So I think this one will be okay. We'll wipe that down and degrease it and get it ready for paint. This color here, we're going to use the apple green or the lime green, the Spectraflame paint that I got from the Redline shop. First thing I do is I spray inside the fender wells and up inside the interior. Put a nice light coat in there. That's starting to look good. Make sure you get the entire thing. Get the front inside the grill area. Get your back. And then start doing your sides. Yep. Here we go. And make sure you go the entire length of the vehicle. You don't want to do little spritzes and dibble dabbles, as I call them. Once you get that nice light tack coat on there, you want to let it set for about 10 or 15 minutes. That way there, if it allows the paint to start to dry and solidify, and it gives the other paint that you're going to spray on something to hold on to. This is looking good. Let's let that set for a while and tack up. Put some more coats on there and some saturation coats. Let it dry for approximately a day. Now we're going to come in with the decals. I trimmed them up, and I got these decals from Second Chance Redlines. Vince at Second Chance Redlines has a wonderful product, and he does a lot of reproduction decals for your restorations, but he also does some super cool custom decals too, such as these updated Poison Pinto decals. Now these decals are black, but there's also a gold foil print on the inside. Get it in the position you want, use a Q-tip, and then go ahead and smooth it out. Sometimes it takes a little bit of finagling to get them exactly where you need to go. Use your Q-tip to go ahead and smooth it out and get all the wrinkles out of it. Later on, I'll go over it with some micro set to help soften those decals and smooth it out over those complex curves, and that will help the decals adhere to the body, and it'll lay nice and smooth when you go to put that clear coat down. Just work it till you got it to where you're satisfied with it, and then you want to let it set for at least 8 to 10 hours. I like to let it sit overnight. That way there it's nice and dry. You definitely don't want to spray clear coat over an area that is wet, because it'll help repel the decal underneath, and it'll eventually separate from your vehicle, and you'll wind up having to do it all over again. So listen to what I'm saying to you here. Let those decals thoroughly dry before you put any clear coat over the top of them. That's looking really good. Like I said, we'll work with it a little bit, get all the bubbles smoothed out, and then we'll go from there. Let's go ahead and move on. We've let that set for a while. We detailed up the front and the back on the lights, and now we're going to go ahead and give it a nice clear coat. Again, just like your prime coat on there, go ahead and do the mist coats. That way there, you're given the next coats that you put on something to hold on to. Continually rotate the vehicle. You don't want this stuff building up because it'll definitely drip. And work your way around and get those decals coated so they will be protected. Now that's looking really sweet. We'll let that set for a while in the dust cabinet, and then we'll get on to some other pieces of the car. Let's go ahead and move on. This is looking nice. Now here we're going to do the wheel swap. We're going to take off these old tired red lines. I removed the clip that holds them in place, and we're going to put on these really super nice wheels. Now these wheels here, we got these from Samed Wheels, and they look absolutely fantastic. I didn't have to do any trimming of the axles or anything, but I get my wheels now from Samed Wheels. Now, the folks over in Malaysia and like that, they've got some great wheels too, but they've been taking weeks and sometimes months to get your wheels. Look at how nice they look. I get my Samed wheels in a few days. Enrique lives in San Francisco, but he gets his wheels from Mexico. So try Samed Wheels on Facebook and eBay. Look them up and check them out.
Meanwhile, back in the graveyard.
Let's go ahead and put those wheels in place. Here I'm using Gorilla Super Glue. I've been using the Loctite stuff, which is good, but I ran out and I had a chance to get some of this, and I've been wanting to check it out. This stuff works pretty good. I like this glue. Go ahead and glue it in place and let it sit, or use the accelerator. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell to be alerted to any future videos that come out. Yeah, I use the accelerator here. Now I also use the big bottle here, this Instaset, and what I did is I poured it in that little eyedropper there that I have. Now if you spray it, it goes all over the place and you got to wind up cleaning it up or wait till it evaporates. This way here, I have control of the accelerator and I can put it exactly where I want it, and I like that a lot better. Here's the front wheels. I glued those in place. A little bit of accelerator. And it's already set and ready to go. Here I got the windshield. I got a little bit of this Meguiar's Plastex polish. And the only thing you really need to do here is the front windshield. The windows in the back that you see back there by my thumb, they don't even show. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the front windshield and it'll be ready to go. That's looking absolutely nice. There it is. Just like brand new. Let's go ahead and move on. Here's the interior. I'm going to use this Tester's base coat gloss black and we're going to paint the interior. I've covered up the engine because I don't want that black. I'll spray that and then I'll get back to you. Here it is, all sprayed out. Now we just got to wait for that to dry. And once it dries, we're going to go ahead and we're going to chrome up the front engine and the grille and be ready for that. Here I'm using this Molotov chrome pen. It's not Molotov like the bomb. Molotov. And this is probably the closest that I've come to chrome are in these pens. Now they're not exactly cheap. Just get in there with the pen. Now they make the different size pens. This one here's got the wide tip on it. They also have one with a fine tip for whatever you need. Now sometimes I'll take that Molotov chrome pen and I'll put it in a little cup and I'll pump some of the silver chrome out of it and I'll use a paintbrush to get into where I need to. At this point here, it just wasn't necessary, so I went ahead and just used this big tip here. But Molotov chrome pens, man, they make a great product and I use them quite often. Now, if you can't find these, go to my Facebook Marketplace page. I've got a really cool assortment of things there that it just saves you from searching all over the place to find them. Now, I only make a few pennies on there because I'm what's called an influencer. So look at the link there in my comment section and it'll take you to my Facebook Marketplace page where you will find the Molotov chrome pen. You'll find paints, you'll find airbrushes, compressors, and a whole bunch of other things that you can use for your diecast hobby. So check it out. Diecast Graveyard's Amazon Marketplace page. Let's let this set and dry. We've got all of our pieces now. We got the body with the new decals, the Spectre Flame paint, and it's all detailed up and clear coated. Here's the base. We got those beautiful wheels from Samed Wheels. They roll and they look fantastic. I still got to cover up that thing on the bottom. Here's the windshield. That looks fantastic. And here's the interior. Let's put it all together and do our reveal. This is going to be awesome. And here's what we started with. This Poison Pinto. Now this is actually a pretty cool casting, but I wouldn't mind them actually making a regular Pinto. Instead, now Johnny Lightning has a regular Pinto, and I think maybe Jada or Greenlight has one also. But I would like to see a regular Pinto. You can make some really cool drag machines out of there. But this one is pretty awesome. We took it apart. We cleaned off all the old paint. We sanded it down. We polished it. We did a wheel swap. We shined up the windshield. We redid the interior. And we got it all cool. And we put on there some really cool decals from Second Chance Redlines. Check out Second Chance Redlines on Facebook and on eBay. Vince has a wonderful product. This is really cool. And this is what we got to. Look at this Pinto now, folks. This thing looks really neat. The apple green paint from the Redline shop, that looks beautiful. We used the clear coat there to protect all that. We detailed up the taillights. We detailed up the headlights. We did a wheel swap and we put those beautiful decals on there from Second Chance Redlines. We re-chromed the engine. We left the interior or painted the interior black. This thing is really, really cool. I enjoyed this build so much. But the best part about this, guys, is you can do this too. I'm showing you where we get all the supplies from, or if you don't see them, I can tell you where to get them. I show you where to get the wheels. I tell you where to get the paint. the airbrushes, the compressors, every single thing you need to do this, you can do this. It just takes you starting. That's the hardest part about this hobby. And I know you can do it, and I would love to see pictures of your work. Fantastic. Check out Sam Ed Wheels on Facebook and on eBay. Enrique makes some wonderful wheels, and they work for all applications. This video was brought to you by the Redline Shop. The Redline Shop offers a complete line of decals, tools to take your car apart, put them back together, replacement hoods, replacement glass, those beautiful Redline tires, and of course, the world-famous Spectra Flame paints. Fantastic products. The Redline Shop at www.redlineshop.com, where Redlines come to life. I want to thank you for joining me here today in Diecast Graveyard. We had a great time and a wonderful build. I want to thank my Patreon subscribers also. To be a Patreon member, please look in the comments for the link to come to my Patreon page. I sure could use your help. This is Paul from Diecast Graveyard. Thank you and cheers.